not easy. I'm just being thrown in a situation and trying to make A plus B equals C when it's actually equaling 58. You know what I mean? Hello unicorns, and I'm not forgetting all my humans and my aliens and my sentient beings. I know I've been neglecting you. But anyway, I'm Tiffany, here's Angelica, and we are back here with another reading experience for you. Now, as you may or may not be aware, I am trying to challenge myself to read 10 epic fantasy series, to actually read book 1 to see if I like it, because I'm a fantasy girl at heart. And I haven't read any books in these series. I just want to see what all the hype is about. So if you don't already know from this title, I will be reading the first book in MALAZAN Empire Extravaganza. The first book being Guardians of the Moon. Now, this is gonna be my reaction spoiler-filled reading vlog. I'm gonna update you as I go along. So if you haven't read MALAZAN and you don't want to be spoiled for it, I suggest you skip right to the end of this video where I give my quick summaries, my conclusion. Or you can go ahead and start reading MALAZAN and come back to this video and we can share our thoughts together. It's up to you. I'm not pressuring you. But I'm going to start reading MALAZAN. I'm going to start today. Now, I'm very happy that MALAZAN has broken this section up into books. So there are 7 books in Guardians of the Moon. So I will just come back and update you after I finish each chunk. Okay. So I'm doing a hybrid read. Because I hear MALAZAN is very difficult. So both my loans came in through Libby. I've got the ebook, I've got the audiobook. We're going to merge them together. So without further any ado, let me start off. Let me get to reading. Hello unicorn, I am back with an update on the Guardians of the Moon. So I took a break. It was a bit difficult for me to get around the prose of the book. So I did take a break and now I'm back reading. I read the first chapter or so and I thought, you know what, no, I'm just gonna DNF it, but I'm sticking through it. So let me get the thoughts on the first part of the book. So I have just finished book 1 and I'm so grateful that it is broken up into books. So I finished book 1, which is called Tale, and I have to say that Fisher girl talking to the old lady and that cryptic prophecy that she gave, something like you are the last to hear my words and I am the last to speak to you. And then straight away, the old lady died and then the girl gets possessed by somebody. I mean, I love a prophecy that comes true, you know? And that was a quick turnaround, so I did like that. But then after that initial introduction to the book, my mind kind of got scrambled. My mind kind of turned to fog because I didn't know what was happening. Because we have got some mages that are doing some sort of battle, and then there are some soldiers that are stuck in a tunnel underground that can't get out. I don't know. And then out of nowhere, a demon appeared, popped up and was just there doing his demon thing and then disappeared. And I'm just like, hold on a minute, have I missed something? What happened to my Fisher girl? I mean, what happened to my Fisher girl? I was following that journey, I understood her. But anywho, so that happened. And I get there was a battle between mages, and I think one of the mages is technically turned to the dark side. And correct me if I was wrong, but was the battle they were having a fight with, was it in the sky? Was there somebody up in the sky that was, I don't know. This is why I said my brain was scrambled. What have I been reading? And then don't get me started on the names of these characters, okay? We have someone called Tattersail, and then another character called Whiskey Jack, and then another character called Hairlock, like in a hair and a lock. And okay, don't get me wrong, I've seen some outrageous names in fantasy that just look like made up, just look like the author banged on the keyboard and came up with these names. So at least the names that Steven Erickson has put in this book is put 2 different words together that I can pronounce. But again, is there meaning behind these names? Are these nicknames or are these actual names that they got from birth? What Whiskey Jack? I mean, really? Hopefully, if I can understand it, later on in the book, these names will be explained. There's some significance. Otherwise, was Steven Erickson just having some whiskey and thought, oh, that's a good name, Jack? Ah, Whiskey Jack. Now what? I don't know. Again, it's not the worst name, but they're bad. I do have to say, I am enjoying Tatasale's magic system. I believe if I can get it right, she is doing something with cards, and I think it's like tarot card magic, kind of. I'm not sure anymore. Now that I'm trying to remember, I'm not sure because again, I know we have mages, and probably each mage have something different. But then there's this guy who's like a jack-in-a-box, who keeps in a box and pops up and goes to another realm called the Warrens. But he's a jack-in-a-box. Are they carrying around the box? Is that what he is? Is he possessed? What did I read? What is this book? What's going on? Am I going to continue reading? Yes, I'm intrigued. I want to know more. But the confusion is getting at me. So let's move on to book 2. It's the same book. It's still Guardians of Moon, but for the second part of the book. Okay? Hello, unicorns. So I'm back. We are back. We have just finished book 2 of Guardians of the Moon. And this one was called something like Durgistan. Now, when I left off book 1, it was alright. It was cool. However, I wanted to continue on following these characters like Tatasale and Whiskey Jack and all their ridiculous names. But we just got introduced to a whole heap of characters, new characters, in a whole new location, and I was lost. I ain't gonna lie. At the beginning, I was lost. I was just like, who is Croppe? Who are you, Croppe? Who's Caucus? You know, where the hell are we? What are we doing here? It took me a while to settle into book 2 because I just settled into book 1 of Pale, and now we're somewhere new. And that's not to say that this doesn't happen in fantasy books, because it does. Different POVs, different locations. But I don't know, man. I just know. So in this new locations, we have got lords, we've got ladies, we've got some assassins on the roof scrolling about. We've got an alchemist who is best friends, or maybe he's not best friend. But it's like besties with some raven creature that's talking to him. But I don't know if he's talking in his mind, or if the raven like a parrot that can talk and everyone can hear him. Let me tell you something. I read the first part of book 2 twice, and I still wasn't picking up what was being put down. So I continued and I moved on. So, and especially, let me tell you something, when the Raven, this is why I had to go back and reread, because when this Raven character showed up, at first I thought it was a dragon, because I remember some art coming out from the broken binding, and there's this dragon skeleton. In my head, I'm thinking, oh, we got dragon. So when this creature started to talk, I thought, oh, it's a little mini dragon. They started to talk about it having feathers. I thought dragons don't have no feathers. Is it a griffin? But no, it was a raven. I thought, okay, fine. I said, Tiffany, that's your fault because you weren't paying attention. Slow it down, okay? Take a moment to take in what Steven Erickson has put on the page. So that was my bad. There's no dragon. Anyway, so far when I was reading this Raven character has got to be the most intriguing character to me, because it's talking to the alchemist. He's a bit snipey, he's a bit sarcastic, and it's like, as I said, I feel like no one else can hear him except for the alchemist. And I like that in character. It's not any Raven, by the way. Sorry, I had to put respect on his name. He's called the Great Raven, okay? He's the boss of all the Ravens. That's what I'm thinking. The main takeaway I have gotten from book 2 is that there's this coin. And the coin is important. Now, I'm thinking you have a crazy old man that I feel like he's not really crazy. He says some weird stuff. His dialogue is weird. And I feel like that's an act. He's just putting it on. But again, because I feel like I'm trying to get to know these new cast of characters, and the way that this book is written, it's not easy. I'm just being thrown in a situation and trying to make A plus B equals C when it's actually equaling 58. You know what I mean? But anywho, so far I'm just focusing on the coin, and I don't even know what this actual book is about at this point. Like, I didn't read any of the synopsises, I just know it's called MALAZAN, Book of the Fallen. This is called Guardians of the Moon. I know there's an empire of MALAZAN. Are they at war with somebody? Oh, where are we at in Dagestan is not a part of the empire? I don't know what's going on. I am still going to continue on. I'm not at the point where I feel like I want to DNF this book. I want to get it together. So I feel like, okay, now that we've been introduced to one set of cast and characters in one location, we've been introduced to another set of characters in a different location. I think book 3, hopefully I can get some clarity. What I do like, again, we have a coin in this that's important. We have some assassins. Now, I like the fact that these assassins are assassinating. Okay, forget the dragons, that was a disappointment, that was my fault. I like the fact that when you have some assassins, they're doing their job, and I feel like that's what we're gonna get here. So hopefully we're gonna get more of that, and hopefully I can gain clearer clarity. Okay, let me move on to book 3 of this. I say, when I mean book 3, I mean the book is split up to parts. So part 3 is called book 3, and I'm going to try and read that, and hopefully I can get some clarity. Alright, I'll see you in the next clip. Hello unicorns, I am back with another update for Guardians of the Moon. I have just finished part 4, and what I feel like at this moment is that I am working on a 500,000 piece puzzle, and they are missing some key puzzle pieces. Like, when I feel like I'm getting a grasp of the story, something slips through the ether and I'm just back at square one, like what the hell is going on? And again, I feel like there's like no edges. Like I don't have, so you know when you make a jigsaw puzzle, the common sense thing would be to start with the outside. Okay, you do the edges, you do the corners first. I feel like this puzzle that I have got in comes with no edges, comes with no corners. So I'm just starting in the middle. And we're just freeballing it right now. So I have a cut out of puzzle pieces here that makes sense, a cut over here that makes sense, and it's not cohesive, it's not coming together. That's what I feel like when I read this book. When I read MALAZAN and Guardians of the Moon. I don't know what else to tell you. It's making me feel like a psychopath. Because who starts a puzzle in the middle? Everyone knows when you start a jigsaw puzzle, you do the edges. So why am I a psychopath that starts in the middle? It's not who I was meant to be as a person. I feel like this metaphor is running away. So let's just hone back in to the book. Like, the most important things I can take away from where we're at now is that there's a race. There's a race to get to a location to find something called a lost tyrant. And there is the spinning coin, the coin, remember from the other book where I said it's important. There's a coin that spins. These are the 2 key points that I'm keeping in my head. But then, what's annoying me is that I swear there's been mentions of gods, there's been mentions of demons, and there's a mention of 3 black dragons. These are all key phrases that I love to hear in fantasy books. This is what, when I hear these words, it compels me to pick up a book, to read more, because I love, these are 3 of the 5 things that I love in fantasy. Not including the magic that they have in Guardians, so that means they have 4 things that I love in fantasy. But I still don't know what I want with it. I still don't know what I'm reading. I have no idea what these elements have to do with the book, or whether they're significant for the plot, or whether they're just words just thrown in there, you know? I'm not over it, I'm just getting frustrated. That's all I have for you. Let's move on to book 5. Let's move on to book 5. Because I feel like if I don't read this at a consistent rate, like I'm going to do a book a day, I want to forget some things that I've read because I'm not retaining all the information like I usually would when reading a book. It's taking longer than I thought it possible. Normally I can read a fantasy book in 3 days? Maximum. This has been going on for a lot longer. I'll get back to you with the next update when I read it, okay? See you in the next clip.
Hello unicorns, I'm Tiffany, here's Angelica, and I am back to give you my final thought on Guardians of the Moon. Now, I know I last left off with you, I think I was on book 4, I didn't have the energy or the time to update you when I finished book 5, 6 and 7, only because it would have been the same goddamn thing. What the hell is going on? You know, there was nothing to give you. We was getting information in, it just left my head right away. So, let me tell you my thoughts on this book, on this whole reading experience. So, what I gather is that we have a MALAZAN empire, which till now, I still don't understand if we were in the MALAZAN empire, who was a part of the MALAZAN empire, was it Tatasale or Whiskey Jack, or they the MALAZANs? Or was it Coupe, and the little boy with the coin, and the assassins? Was that the MALAZANs? Or was that Darjastan? Or I think Darjastan is not a part of the empire wants to consume them. I don't know. And then we also have some gods and some demons fighting up in the sky, in a floating city that's just moving. Where's its destination? I don't know. There was a conspiracy to awaken. The only thing I didn't understand was that somebody wanted this coin, and that boy, what's his name, Corin, someone who had the coin, went and just threw the coin into the sea like it didn't mean anything. You know, like the coin wasn't important. So he just went plop and threw, like that old woman from Titanic, okay? Who just threw the necklace in the sea. That's what this boy did, just threw the coin away. Like the whole book, in my opinion, wasn't revolved about the coin bearer and who was holding onto this coin. You know? But anywho, maybe it wasn't that important. Maybe I just made it important because that's the only thing I kind of understood. You know? Because if he just dropped it in the sea, it's a bit rude of him. First of all, and then we're going to have a Titanic moment where people are trying to dig it up. But then it is a fantasy world, so probably some gods are just going to go badoop, badoop, badoop. I don't know. I did like that little race they had to get to this destination, and everybody was converging on this last destination to wake up some beast, to wake up some dead dragon or some dead god. I feel like this is a type of book I would need to reread it to understand further. Now I know what the book is. But I'm never going to reread this book, you know, because if I have to do that, this book is a 10-book series. And if every book is as bad as this first one, I don't think it's the series for me. Am I satisfied that I read this book? Yes, it's quelched my it has quelched my curiosity about what is Guardians of the Moon, what is the MALAZAN Empire. Am I happy that I started onto this venture? No. Because I have too many questions that need answering, and I can't be bothered to find out these answers. I can't be bothered to go and read reviews or read deep dives into the book to try and understand it. I don't read to learn. I read for entertainment. And if it so happens that when I read a book, I get a life lesson or get information that's giving me knowledge, fair enough. But that is not my number one goal of reading, okay? Reading MALAZAN is making me feel like I need to write a 1,000-word dissertation on my interpretation of events to justify the words that I have read. I'm not doing that. Now, the real question you need to ask yourself is that, am I going to continue with the second book? I had it on hold at the library, and just now both the audio and the ebook has come in, so I have it available to me. I have borrowed them. Am I actually going to pick it up? I don't know. I have 21 days to decide. It's at that point where if I don't pick it up now, I probably never will. So we will check in. I will check in. I don't know, man. I still have FOMO. I still want to know why so many people say this is so good. And people say that the last book, book 10, is the best book in the series. I'm not. Book 10. And this is how I feel about book 1. I don't know. Maybe I'll give book 2 a go. Maybe. Just because I have it available for me to read. Okay. Well, that's it. And that is me reading the first book in MALAZAN, Book of the Fallen. This was Guardians of the Moon. It was an experience. If you want me to tell you what this book's about, go read the synopsis, because I can't tell you nothing, okay? Let me know if you've read this book, your thoughts, your feelings. Let me know if you think I should continue, if the second book is worth it, okay? Thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey, and I'll be back with another video soon.